Hi everyone, and welcome to another Take 10. Take 10 being a short podcast designed to go behind the profile, the traditional profile of let's say LinkedIn, to get to know the people better, the person better, through icebreaker questions, encouraging communication and business as a result. Today's guest on Take 10 is Catt McLeod of Elegant Hotel Collection. I'm sure a lot of you know Catt. Welcome, Catt. And if I could ask you, please, to introduce yourself a little bit, the company and what have you.
Well, hello, Richard, and thank you so much for having me. My name's Catt McLeod, and many of you will know me as Catt from HotelREZ. And in 2023, we launched a new luxury soft brand, the Elegant Hotel Collection, which is a full-service global distribution and representation company for luxury properties. And with Richard, we've had many chats over the years on distribution more broadly. I've been doing that for over 20 years now, so I'm excited to hear more today.
Thanks, Catt. Thanks. Yeah, definitely want to hear more about that a little later on. First of all, the icebreaker questions. So, are you ready to get started with those?
I am.
Yeah, good. Um, just in case anybody's not seen these, it's one of those either or type of questions. You'll get the idea though. Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola?
Pepsi. Easy.
Pepsi.
Pepsi. Yeah,
Ooh, you can tell the difference then, can you?
I can. I
Can
think so
you?
anyway.
Gosh.
I need to taste test again. But yeah, it's definitely Pepsi.
Really. In the early days, and they kept introducing different types of Coca-Cola, like Cola Light and Cola this, that, and the other, Zero and everything. I couldn't tell the difference at all, and I can't tell the difference between Pepsi either. But all respect to your taste buds there. That's me and my primitive taste buds, to be honest.
Maybe it's just the branding and Britney Spears.
Yeah, you never do know uh, on this, and I can keep going off at all kinds of tangents. But I've recently been doing a little bit of going on wine tasting tours, and it's a question of, oh yeah, pineapples and peaches and this, that, and the other. And I asked the person, can you really taste that, or is it just, do we start believing what you're saying? And the word he used was, yes, there's a lot of it's very suggestive. If we tell you can taste peaches, you start tasting peaches. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's who knows? If they tell us it tastes different, I suppose we start believing it. Uh,
Indeed.
Next one: speeding ticket or parking ticket. You won't. I can't say which would you prefer, but what's your
Um,
views on those?
what am I more likely to get? Well, neither, because I haven't driven for about 15 years.
Oh wow!
Um, uh, Gosh, I don't know. I'd
I
parking
mean,
ticket. I'm never going to get a speeding ticket. Even when I was driving, I was not a speeding person, unless you're in one of those really annoying 20s locally, Richard, where you think
exactly.
that it's a 30 and it's actually a 20.
Honestly, and sometimes they don't even tell you. And our sat nav doesn't alert to that. And you're quite right. You don't even need to be doing a test, a speeding. The only speeding ticket I got, I think, was like in a 30-mile zone, and I was like doing 31 on a Sunday morning and then
Oh,
on an empty road. It was outrageous. But anyway,
ouch.
it is what it is, isn't it? Um, Routine or random? You a person that likes routine or shudder the thought?
I like to think that I'm routine, but I think anybody who has spent any time with me knows that I'm random.
Oh, really? I'm surprised. I did always think of you as very, that you've got everything, that it's very planned and scheduled and everything like that. So that's good.
Do
There
you know
was
what?
an online Yeah, go ahead,
The
please. Yeah,
routine the routine enables you to do the random. If
that's
you've
an
got that
interesting way of looking at
infrastructure,
it.
then you can, make hay while the sun shines and go out for
Absolutely,
that
that's a
walk.
great
Just yeah.
It's right. It's a great point. It kind of gives you that structure, doesn't it, to then do those other things more spontaneously. Uh,
Exactly.
I had a discussion on LinkedIn actually, where somebody was asking about routine and on holiday or what have you, and I came across feel like I should launch this one. Like routine travel. Feel like you've never been away. It's kind of like a bit of irony there, isn't it? But we even like routine on holiday. A lot of people, it seems. So feel like you've never been away. Um, Living in the city or living in the country?
Oh, these are really hard because again, the Isle of Mull, I absolutely love and, can spend weeks and weeks there. But then coming back to London, I think if I had to choose one of the two, I would choose the country if I had to choose
Yeah,
just one.
I remember that actually. I remember your posts. Now you mention it.
Mm.
Do you have a property there or timeshare or something, or just regularly you go there?
So my mother-in-law lives on the Isle of Mull and on the Ross of Mull, which I just think is the most wonderful part of the island, and we're right on the loch, so we get to
Right.
spend lots of time. She loves spending that time with her grandchildren as well. So, yeah. So wait for lots more Mull pictures at Easter.
Please, honestly, I can look at those pictures, and just take a deep breath and just go, I don't know, it's just like
Yeah.
you just breathe, you're thinking, you imagine you're there. It's just, no, it's
Mhm.
great. A croft on some island, that'd be
Yeah.
great. And I'd sink every ship that tries, every boat that tries to dock. As long as I've got a few bottles of whiskey. But actually, no, like I said to you earlier, I'm hopefully on the stint to certainly significantly reduce my intake. Not of whiskey, but alcohol generally. But spinning off that one in some respects, foreign vacations, a foreign holiday or domestic vacation. Do you like going abroad or
Domestic.
sticking at home?
Scotland and
Yeah,
Ireland.
yeah. For
Yeah.
relatives as well, of course. Yeah,
Yeah, it's for
yeah,
relatives, but also I just love the temperature, the scenery, yeah,
yeah. Fresh air and everything. Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
No, I mean, I have to say, I like going. I like going overseas to sunny places, but it kind of like leads to you not knowing your own country, doesn't it? And people will then be asking you about different parts of the country, and I just know the M6.
Yeah. So, I think I've been really lucky over the years to travel all across Britain and Ireland, visiting all of our member hotels. So, I feel like I've got to know the country really well through the hotels. It's almost name a place and I'll think, "Oh, yes, X hotel there."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we are lucky being in this business, really. But yeah. Um, Window seat. So should you be on a plane, window seat or aisle seat?
Window.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like looking
Yeah.
out, yeah.
Love looking out the window.
It is fascinating, isn't it? I mean, increasingly, I mean, I'm not a frequent traveler at all by any means, and my family would back me up on that one, that I'm the most boring person ever, that, don't ever want to go and travel But I think I prefer the aisle these days. And worst of all, of course, is that middle seat, isn't it? Of three. But
You've just
yeah,
got to
you
travel in
can get.
business, Richard.
In fact, I did recently, I have to say. Um, and it's yeah. It was nice. I've been a couple of times really. Yeah. Well, don't get me started on that. It's a whole new topic. um, last question. I think strangest food ever tried apart from haggis.
Um, I love haggis.
Other
Um, so the sort of strangest food I suppose I've ever tried is that I did a hot wings challenge with another one of our hospitality tribe, a gentleman called Thomas Finn, and the hottest three final sources of that hot wings challenge were unlike anything I'd ever tried before. So I think that's probably yeah, the strangest. I eat everything. I quite yeah,
yeah.
oysters. could be quite strange to some people, but I love them. When you think about them, oysters are like really strange.
Well, yeah. I ate oysters for the first time in my in 66 years. The first time I've ever knowingly ever eaten an oyster, and that was about 3 weeks ago or something.
Oh
And I
wow,
just sat and thought, well, what's all that about? You know, and it was like, as they say, like just gulping seawater or something.
maybe
I didn't
that's
like it or
marketing
love it.
to you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, suggesting that it's great. Yeah, and taking all my
Mm.
money. But yeah, but the hot sauces sound interesting because I mean they just kill it. They kill the taste buds eventually, don't they?
I
You know,
Yes.
I just Vindaloo. I only ever eaten that when I've got having a raging cold, but otherwise I just can't taste anything. Um, Actually, I will do one more. Staples or paper clips?
Oh, now really that depends on what you're using them for. I've got a very nice little stapler that I use at trade shows for, and this is
Yeah.
again what down to the routine that I make my notes and then I staple the business cards discreetly onto my notes so that I always have those together. Although I know that you're not meant to staple people's business cards in some cultures.
Oh
So yeah, I
wow!
guess
What really? What
yeah.
cultures? What cultures?
I believe there's sort of Chinese, East Asian cultures where you're very respectful and
Yeah, yeah.
you know, you're not meant to write on business cards either in some cultures.
Yeah, I did read once or hear once about I don't know if it's in Japanese culture, was it, where or Middle Eastern, I'm not sure, where you're supposed to actually take the card and read it
Oh,
whilst
yes.
in front of the person,
Yeah.
because yeah, I tend to just put them in my back pocket, which is absolutely bad. It is it's tricky that to get knowing and it's respect. No, obviously we all respect other people's cultures, but actually knowing them and acting on them is difficult sometimes.
I think
Yeah.
I think it that's one of the wonderful things about travel as well because it's so broad that I've you know, throughout
Mm,
the last 20 years, I've been able to work for and with people from lots of different places. So you sort of begin to learn and pick up some things that so I really like handing a business card, particularly with Elegant now, in a very
mm,
intentional way, and
yeah.
receiving people's business cards and really, you know, looking at them, reading them, appreciating the um,
Mm.
texture of them. I know that sounds a little bit,
No,
you know,
not at all. I mean, in fact, what I was thinking of just then when you were saying that, I mean, what people's business cards are made of, and look, from one extreme to the other. I've met people where they say we don't do business cards anymore, but on my mobile phone, and they start doing something on the mobile phone, and I don't understand, and I kind of just
oh,
give them my phone and to them to do what they want. But on the other
I
hand,
think
the other extreme, it's sorry, go ahead, Kat, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, here's a question for you, which it sounds like we know the answer to, which is digital business cards or paper business cards.
Digital, I think, because I just give my phone to the Gen Z person and do it for me. Yeah, I mean, I do have business cards, but I don't just distribute them an awful lot. I picked up a couple this week, but and thank goodness there weren't any of those metal business cards where you drop them and they lodge in your shoe
Oh,
because there's those sharp. Yeah, I've had a few of those. It must be so expensive to make the paper ones. But yeah, yeah. Oh, nice one. Yeah, that's the first time anyone's ever asked me. I hope this doesn't start a whole trend to put me on the spot. Hey, stop it. All right, right. Before further ado, actually, thank you very much for that, and really enjoyed that. Would please tell us more about Elegant Hotel Collection, and also you mentioned HotelREZ, so I'd love to hear more about both.
thank you. So, Elegant Hotel Collection is a global community of independent luxury hotels that are celebrated for their authenticity, originality, and creativity, and their commitment to crafting authentic guest experiences. And Elegant is very much brought to the world from the team that launched HotelREZ over 20 years ago now. And we're celebrating 20 years of success with HotelREZ. Elegant is part of the HotelREZ family of brands, and I think HotelREZ certainly within our community, Richard, is best known as a GDS representation company, and that distribution company providing the GDS, the booking engine, the travel agent connectivity, and online travel agent connectivity for properties. And we have quite a lot of mutual people like Room 2 and Stay City and Wild, that are, yes, there's a lot of overlap now between the traditional hotel accommodation providers and the extended stay and apart hotels. So yes, in summary, that's who we serve.
No, that's interesting. I mean, I'd love to hear even more, to be honest, because I mean, so Elegant Hotel Collection. So is that just the UK,
No,
or
we are fully global. We are growing. We launched with 25 hotels back in October 2023, and we've grown to 33 right now, with some very, very special properties joining us over the coming months. So watch this space. And we have properties from Phuket, Paresa Resort there, which is a stunning 42 all suites property in Phuket, to Cresta Palace, St. Moritz, La Olida, La Sultana in Morocco. So very much a global portfolio, and looking to continue to grow very much globally.
oh, I disappeared for a minute. Then I think I'm back again. Now, thank goodness. Fantastic. They sound that portfolio sounds very exotic, leisure as such. Are there city hotels as well, or you concentrate on resorts?
So we have a fantastic portfolio in London. Some of the nicest hotels, my darling Durrant's Hotel in Marylebone, Sloane Club, Sloane Place, Montague. Yeah, we have city centre properties in the more traditional GDS locations, but also an awful lot of the business that we drive is leisure business. So then we have the likes of Rudding Park up in Harrogate, Matfen Hall in Northumberland. So yeah, both
All over.
corporate and leisure. But I
Sloane
think
Club, that
also,
has apartment.
pardon?
I'm sorry, Kat. Go ahead. You go ahead.
The Sloane Club, yes, the Sloane Club has accommodation, and in fact is
Oh,
undergoing an amazing refurbishment at the moment. So that might be a good location for a future
event.
Saba.
Yeah,
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 they've got a
yeah.
very
Thank
nice
you. Yeah,
downstairs bar that would be very much your, you know, very nice
yeah.
for Saba.
I remember I went there once, actually, just on a show round, because they have apartments, do they not?
Yeah. So they
Yeah, yeah.
have hotel accommodation, transient accommodation, and they have the members club.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then HotelREZ, just for the
Yes.
viewers, I guess, how, so you help people get onto the GDS. Is
Yeah.
that kind of fair enough to
Yes.
say?
That's what we're best known for, and what we absolutely excel at. On a global level, we grew to be the third largest consortia of independent properties worldwide, and we work very closely across all accommodation sectors, really. HotelREZ has grown fantastically in the service department and apart hotel sector, but we've actually been supporting service departments and apart hotels for much of our 20 years that we've been in existence. But the travel agents are now much more aware of and engaged with that alternative accommodation as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then they get a code, a HotelREZ code, I
Yes,
guess.
the
For the
HO
GDS.
GDS chain code.
Right, yeah,
So that
fantastic.
enables us,
Interesting.
yeah, that enables us to do
Mm,
some really nice things in partnership with the travel agents, with the travel management companies and consortia, and do chain-wide agreements with those agents, but also some corporate clients. So that's quite
mm.
a unique thing that HotelREZ does for its clients.
Actually, I didn't let me put that is there
Yeah,
you go. That's the
HotelREZ.
HotelREZ. Yeah, web address. Yeah, no, thank you very much for that, Kat, for agreeing to subject yourself to the icebreaker, and for having to examine whether you prefer. Well, that was an easy one for you, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, but all the others. So no, thank you very much for that, and that was great fun. And thank you too for letting us know about Elegant Hotel Collection and HotelREZ. So enjoyed that. It's been very interesting. So I'd like to thank you very much indeed for your time this afternoon, and yeah, and then we'll see you later. We'll see you next week
On the
at
27th at
Savile.
room 2.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thanks very much, and see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.